Number 3 of our radio program. Good to have you with us on this busy afternoon. Little Karen Carpenter. You knew we were going to play that. I'm into the 70s team. I still can't get over the fact that Mary Tyler Moore's show began in 1970, and I was in 5th grade. I'm 59 years of age, 58 years of age, and Mary Tyler Moore's show began July of 1970, and I was in elementary school. I wasn't in 9th grade. I wasn't a junior in high school. I was in elementary school, living on Harmony Court. All right? Here's another way to look at it. When that show began, Lombardi was alive. That's another way to look at it. You think it's not that old. I mean, think about it for a minute. A lot of the main characters are still alive. Edward Asner's still alive. McLeod's still alive. Valerie Harper's still alive. So it is weird. Anyway, let's get to a couple things here as we move it along on this busy afternoon. One, let's do a second on a couple trades baseball. McCutchen, in case you missed this, I'm sure you didn't. The Pirates also sent $3 million, $2.5, to San Francisco with McCutchen. He's due to make $14.75 million next year, or this coming year. And the Giants do not want to pay a luxury tax, which is at about I think it's 187. It might be 197. Whatever it is, it's in the high 100s. And the Giants, you don't want to trigger that too many times in a row because the tax increases the more times in a row that you go over the tax. So that means the Yankees, you go over 4 years in a row, and eventually you're going to pay You're going to pay a huge premium, 50% premium on your payroll. You're going to pay $1 for every 2 you spend. So that is. But once you get off the luxury tax to 1 year, it resets. So that's why the Yankees want to make sure that this year they don't pay a tax. And that's why they've been so diligent about that, because the Yankees have been over the tax, whatever it might be, 4 or 5 years in a row, which means they are paying a pretty dollar to MLB. Roughly $30-40 million. Steinbrenner's writing a check. So I says, hold on now. I'm writing a check, $30 million to them because I'm over the tax? Hell no. Brian Cashman, you get under the tax so we can reset it. So the next time I go over, it goes back down to 10 or 20%. I don't know all the rules, specifications, but that's the way it works. And San Francisco doesn't want to go over that tax at all. And so that's why the Pirates gave them some money. Now, McCutchen can play either center field or left. Sounds like he's going to play left. They don't have a center fielder at the moment. I think the Giants are going to get a center fielder. They're not getting Lorenzo Cain, but I think the Giants will get a center fielder and, a guy who can maybe a Juan Lagares, somebody like that, who can go out there, make a trade with the Mets, who can go out there, maybe they trade, an infielder for a Juan Lagares. Who knows? I'm just using that as an example. A guy who can play that big outfield and go catch the ball. I remember there are a lot of big outfields and a lot of huge center fields in the NL West. Coors Field, you can run forever. Dodger Stadium is huge, so is Petco. Giants is, and so is Arizona. So you need yourself a good defensive center fielder. They try McCutchen if they have to. They'd rather not. McCutchen, obviously, you'd think be motivated. This is his walk year. 40,000 every day. He's on a good team. He's got Posey. He's got Longoria. He's still got Crawford. He's still, Giants should be a much, much better team. They still have Bumgarner and Cueto. They got Melanson back as a closer. They do have Posey, Longoria. You got to figure he'd be motivated. Play in front of people for the first time in his career. So the Giants made this. You can't kill the Giants from making a move. They're out of J.D. Martinez. They're not going to get him. They're not going to get Lorenzo Cain. They're out of that market. So McCutchen now is their big addition. They will try to get themselves some kind of center fielder, a defensive center fielder if they have to, just so that they can go out there and catch the ball in the outfield and sort of spare McCutchen's legs. And if the Giants have a lineup where they have Posey, Longoria, McCutchen, throw in Crawford, Belt, Hannick, Pence is still sitting there. That's not a bad team with Bumgarner and Cueto and Melanson closing. Now, I'm not sure if that's a NL West winning team, but it is a playoff contending team. Let's put it that way. So the Giants make that move with Pittsburgh. Now, the Pirates, on the other hand, again, the Pittsburgh situation, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about Pittsburgh. All I can say is there are too many teams in baseball today who have gone the Houston Astro route of basically breaking down their whole team to have that 3 to 4 year window where they have a chance to win. The Pirates are doing it for the second time. The White Sox are doing it. A lot of these teams are breaking down their whole team to go out there. Tampa's doing it. There's a million teams to put themselves in a situation where they can get younger, they can get a couple of draft picks if they're bad, and then they can all of a sudden find themselves with a window where they have a lot of younger players not making a lot of money, where they can maybe add a free agent, where they can get them over the top and try to win a championship. That's what these teams are doing right now, and that is why Pittsburgh traded Cole. They're going to trade Josh Harrison next, and they traded McCutchen. That's why Kansas City, they had their window with the championship. They're kind of in the same boat. So a lot of these teams are doing that. They saw what Houston did. They've seen what some of these teams have done with the number one picks and the proliferation of them, and see if they can regroup from that standpoint. Now, it makes good business sense, these new analytical GMs, young, but it in a lot of ways, it makes for a very dull regular season. And you tell me this year in baseball how you're going to get into a regular season that really right now has maybe 8 to 9 teams that are good. Yankees are good. The Red Sox are good. The Indians are good. The Twins aren't good yet. Not real good. That's 3. Houston's good. 4. The Angels are interesting. 5. The Nationals are good. 6. The Mets are interesting. 7. The Cubs and Cards are good. 9. Milwaukee won 82 games. I'm not putting them as good yet. They're young, but they're not interesting. They're 9. And then you have maybe a couple teams, Giants, Arizona, Colorado, and the Dodgers. You got 12 teams that it's worth watching. The rest of them are a bore. San Diego's a bore. The Marlins are pathetic. Why buy a ticket? The Braves, totally regrouping. Phillies, a ways away. Progress, but a ways away. There are so many. The Reds stink. The Pirates stink. The Rays stink. The Orioles are bad. Toronto's spinning their wheels. The Tigers stink. The Royals are regrouping. The White Sox are a ways away. Oakland's terrible. I mean, there's a lot. Football doesn't have this problem that baseball has. Football, they put 4 or 5 new teams in the postseason every year. Football is a year-to-year thing. You got to get the quarterback. So you need the one player in football. Baseball, you need a group of players. Football, you need the quarterback. And that's hard. But it's not money-oriented. It's not market-oriented. You need the QB, but you get one, you have a chance to be good right away. Baseball's not the case. And it's a major problem for the sport. I don't know what the solution is, but it's a major, major problem for the sport. So McCutchen goes because now Pittsburgh is, if you live in Pittsburgh, why buy a ticket? Explain. Why would you ever go to a Pirate game this year? They're bad. You want to spend a night out in nice warm weather, look at the 3 rivers, and go to fireworks? You can get a ticket. You can go to 3 or 4 games a year. Why follow the Pirates on a day in, day out basis if you live in Pittsburgh? Why would you do that? Now, unlike Kansas City, that got a championship and a pennant out of their redo, Pittsburgh did not get that. Pittsburgh got 3 playoff wins. Kansas City got a championship and a Game 7, World Series San Francisco. Pittsburgh did not do that. They got a Game 5 in St. Louis is what they got. That's it. So from that perspective, it's tricky when the window is short. So that's the first thing you wanted to get to today. Second thing I want to get to this hour is Cleveland. And, I know that a lot of people are speculating right now are where the Cavs are. They've lost 9 of 11 or thereabouts. They have played badly. The Cavs should not be this bad. I mean, last night's an acceptable loss. Golden State's great. There's no comp. And that's another problem the NBA has. The NBA is a complete bore. I mean, why would you watch opening round of the NBA? Who's beating the Warriors? They're not going to lose a game. I mean, it's tricky for the, Toronto's not beating not winning a big series. The NBA is too top heavy too. But Cleveland, there is no reason at all why Cleveland should lose by 40 in Toronto on the heels of losing by 30 in Minnesota. There's no reason for that. With Kevin Love and Wade, and I don't care how old he is, Isaiah Thomas, or how injured he was, and Crowder and LeBron, there is J.R. Smith. I mean, there is no reason that this team should be in this kind of struggles. They've had the second easiest schedule in the NBA. Did you know that? Second easiest. And there is no way on a day-in, day-out basis they should be this up and down. There's no way. I don't expect them to beat Golden State right now. Golden State, they don't have Isaiah Thomas at full tilt. They don't got Tristan Thompson. I got to give them a little break on that. And last night the game was a close game, middle of the fourth quarter. It's not the worst thing, but they should not be getting. I mean, they're losing a lot of bad games. I mean, this team lost to Atlanta. This team lost to Orlando. This team lost by 40 in Toronto. They got double digit in Boston. This team lost to Minnesota by 30 points. There's too many nights where this team doesn't show up for whatever the reason. And LeBron's having a great year, so you can't blame it on him. LeBron's played every game. I don't think he's missed a game. I mean, they blew a 34-12 lead to Indiana the other night. They had a 22-point lead with LeBron James on their team in Indiana 2 nights ago, or whatever it was. Maybe it was this past weekend. You got a 22-point lead in Indiana, and you got LeBron James on your side. You can't lose the game. I don't know what the reason is. I mean, I don't watch him every day. Everybody says they it's a weird team, a lot of spare parts. It's a bunch of nonsense. All right, they missed Kyrie Irving, but they were like this last year. They're sloppy, and they didn't even have the 1 seed last year. They had the 2 seed. Now, you do get the idea. Until I see them collapse in a playoff series, which I have not seen ever, until I go out there and see this team. Last year they buried the Celtics. They buried Toronto. They killed Toronto in the postseason. Until I see this team show some vulnerability when the games really count, I'm not too sure what to read into this. Are they disinterested? They give up a lot of easy baskets. Their transitional defense isn't very good at all. They don't run back. They give up a lot of fast breaks. The pace of the game gets away from them. I don't know. I'm not a coach, so I can't explain it, but they are very puzzling. This team should not be where they are right now. If Toronto can be 27-10 or whatever their record is, why can't Cleveland? Like, Toronto's better than Cleveland? For some reason, this happens They do have LeBron James, Kevin Love, Wade, who's still effective. They did get back Isaiah. Crowder's sitting there. This team should be better than this. Now, a lot of people think they might get DeAndre Jordan for the number 1 pick. Did you see that? The Clippers, 500, going nowhere. Get that number 1 pick that Cleveland got from the Celtics in the Irving trade and get Jordan to go to them. Now, you put Jordan on that team where it can patrol the middle and make Kevin Love the 4, all of a sudden, a little different story. But the thing about Cleveland, they're a weird team in the regular season. And I took them as an over this year as a bad pick because I don't think they're going to get there. 53, 54. They've been sloppy. I mean, geez. And I'll forgive them for last night. I'll forgive them for last night. And I'll tell you, there has been a demolition. I know you guys don't care about this, but I'll throw it out there for a minute. There has been a demo. Play the song. Let's. There you go.
Surrounded by nature, Melbourne.
When you hear that, we'll give you a quick tennis update. There has been a bloodletting of American tennis players in the Australian Open. It's very strange. I mean, the women got killed. Cokie Vandeweghe says she was sick, out first round, 2 sets. Venus, who, by the way, in her press conference was a complete disaster. 159 words. That's it. Did you see that? Who lost in straight sets. Got a bad seed, got a bad draw, but still lost in straight sets. She's out of there. Serena doesn't play. So, I mean, the American, I'm missing somebody else. Somebody else lost too. Serena, Venus, and Sloane Stephens, who hasn't won a match since she won the U.S. Open, lost like 7 or 8 in a row. She's out of there first round. She said she was sick too. They were all sick. I mean, bottom line is they lost. Jack Sock's out. Isner's out. I mean, I believe 12 out of 13 Americans lost in the first round, combined women and men. I mean, they got just ambushed. Absolutely ambushed. And then you look up and you see who's performing. And you know what you see? You see Federer. You see Nadal. You see Djokovic. That's what you see. It's amazing. They do not miss a beat. They do not. They do not. Here's what I want to see. A week from Sunday, a week from Saturday night at 4 a.m. The day before the Super Bowl. I want to get up at 4:15 and watch Nadal Federer again. That's what I want. 17 after the hour, we continue. Mad Dog Unleashed.